Hello there guys, welcome back to Younes Talks Football, welcome back to a brand new video. I hope all of you are doing well today. Video number 2 out of 2. If you haven't caught video number 1 from earlier on where the news came out about Dewsbury-Hall from Leicester heading to Chelsea, it seems, you can check that video right here in the top right hand corner. If you haven't seen that already, make sure you do, then come back over here and watch this. Much appreciated. Now, this is basically a follow-up from that video because earlier on was when it broke and now we've got a bit more information. So yeah, we'll get into it. But tomorrow we are going to have to focus a bit more on Euro 2024. It all kicks off again tomorrow where the quarterfinals, the last 16 begins with Germany, Denmark. We have Switzerland versus Italy and we get to find out who England could play in the quarterfinal if England beat Slovakia on Sunday. So tomorrow is your preview for England versus Slovakia, and I think that should be a pretty straightforward preview. But with England, you never know. So make sure you're here for that. Much appreciated. Hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. Let's get into it. What's the latest then? Earlier on, we heard Dewsbury-Hall was targeted by Chelsea. Chelsea have contacted Leicester. Bish bash bosh, it's looking like it's happening. Well, we've got more now. Here's Fabrizio Romano on what he deems as the latest on Dewsbury-Hall. This is the latest. Let's get into it. Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall has given his green light to Chelsea move after the formal step to inform Brighton about deal collapsed earlier today. KDH, keen on the move, personal terms not an issue, talks ongoing between clubs with players included, but in separate transaction. I love how he's already being called KDH. Are they trying hard to make it sound like KDB or even though that is his initials, we can't mock it. Those are his initials. But that last sentence is crucial. Players included in separate transaction, as Fabrizio has put it, which obviously screams that he's been told this from club sources because that's how we do things nowadays. We talk in financial terms. So separate transaction, not separate deal, transaction. Here's more from Fabrizio, more on the latest. Enzo Maresca has also approved the decision to proceed with Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall for Chelsea. Already yesterday night, Chelsea manager spent good words for KDH as ideal option for the midfield. Negotiations ongoing between Chelsea and Leicester City. Deal depends on the clubs. Now, first couple of things. Fabrizio, I don't know if you heard, but we don't do managers anymore. We do head coaches, right? Sometimes not even that now. Doesn't have to call him coach. So yeah, not manager. Secondly, what's been rumoured now? That Maresca has given approval, that Maresca wants this player. It's Maresca that I don't want to get sucked in to the notion that Maresca is the one making decisions here. He's not. I do have to say, and it would be a positive, it's just a shame it's come at this point and not before, where if the club are listening on the preferences of the manager. Head coach. You get the gist, right? Because we've got prior examples where we weren't doing that. So, if whoever's in charge is getting backed and listened to, I wish we could have done that from the very beginning. In fact, and this is why I'm a little bit like, Tuchel was asked for more responsibility, right? And he didn't like it. And then we got rid of him. After getting players that were Tuchel buys, right? But he didn't like that responsibility. Then we completely turned away from giving managers or head coaches responsibilities. And we were the one dictating on club signings and club players and deal with what you've got and all of that, which became a problem for Potter, problem for not Lampard. Lampard came in for a blip. That didn't go well. And Pochettino, who in the end wasn't happy, right? So Maresca gets a say. What is really happening here at Chelsea Football Club? That's what I want to ask. Because me personally, I'm all in favour of the manager. I'm old school. Head coach having a big say on the table, right? Because I still adhere to the logic that a team should be put out in the blueprint of the manager. I always stick with that because it's the manager that has to come up with the system and the way that the team has to play. And it's only the manager that's really going to truly know deep within as to what is really needed and what quality is really needed. And that doesn't mean all responsibility is on the manager, no. Club signings have been a success in the past as well. We can't ignore that. There has to be an equal balance here, a 50-50, which I feel like Chelsea have completely stayed away from and gone, what, 90-10? That's what they want? Pochettino clearly wasn't happy with that. I don't know, is that what we're still doing? Or are we completely backing whoever's in charge now? Like I said, it's a shame that it's coming under a big experiment like Enzo Maresca. And for me, I will not steer away from saying that it's a big experiment. Enzo Maresca is the biggest risk we could have possibly taken. Will it pay off? Will it not? I'm not so optimistic. But you never know. You never know. It'd be foolish of me to come on and say, this is going to absolutely fail. I'm not confident. But you never know. So, I don't know. If we're actually listening to who's in charge now, I guess that is a positive. But do I believe Maresca, let alone Dewsbury-Hall, is going to up the levels? Like I said, I'm not so confident. Let me know your thoughts down below. Now, I asked a question earlier on, and I asked this on Twitter as well. Twitter's a funny place, right? Twitter's a place where you can put whatever you want out, right? And as long as it is put in a certain way, people are going to explode on it and lose their minds basically over it, right? So a beautiful place. So I put out a tweet, and I put out the conversation of who's getting dropped. Who's getting dropped? For me, this deal doesn't really make sense. Who's getting dropped, right? And I think it's on like 51,000 impressions or something, and it's still growing because Twitter's the sort of place where you say something, it explodes immediately. But we started hearing a name, and I still stick to who's getting dropped because Dewsbury-Hall coming in as just rotation under Maresca, I don't think that's going to happen. But who's in danger of not playing? Well, we heard this name first. Di Marzio said Carney Chukwuemeka could be joining AC Milan on loan with a right to buy him after, right? Now, that came out. And he was the only one saying it. And then we heard Fabrizio come out with a clarification here. Here we go. Chelsea current position on Carney Chukwuemeka. No intention to let him leave on loan. Chelsea remain very happy with Carney, and the only way for potential exit is on a permanent transfer in case of a good proposal. So it's funny because Di Marzio put that AC Milan want him on a loan with an option to buy. And Fabrizio said Chelsea are not willing to go out on a loan, but they will listen to a very good offer. Who's stopping a club from coming in for Carney Chukwuemeka then? And for how much? I honestly believe, right? I honestly believe this. If a club came in and put 30 million on the table for Carney Chukwuemeka, I think we'd sell. I think we'd sell. I don't want Carney going anywhere. Because there seems to be a misinterpretation going on here. The same happened with Lavia, especially on that tweet that I put out earlier, right? Because I mentioned Lavia, and how many people are now saying Lavia's injury prone, Carney Chukwuemeka's injury prone, they were out for so long, and Nkunku's out for so long, we can't trust these guys, we got to get in backups, we don't know if they're going to play or not. Are the same ones that were blaming Pochettino for the injury crisis. I'm sorry, if Poch is gone, right, then surely the injuries will disappear too, no? Unless if, what I believe, there's something going on within the medical team at Chelsea and maybe they're not up to scratch, right? Because, I'll be honest, I expect injuries to come. I've said in the past, not long ago, that Chelsea, you better not have an injury crisis coming into this season. You better not next season. You better not, right? Because so many people jumped on board saying Pochettino's training was the reason why everyone was getting broken. I don't believe that. It can be a factor, to an extent, but I don't believe that. I think Chelsea medically were a shambles, right? And we're not making correct decisions. I think that's going to continue. So, is it just a solution to just sell players with, I have to say, Chukwuemeka? Talent. I wouldn't want him to go anywhere. But I reckon we would, because it would mean making money. However, what are we going to do about the club medically? Are we going to fix this injury crisis or not? Are we going to shift up the team that's going that's there medically? Are we going to do that, or are we just going to ignore it because Poch is gone? We're going to expect it to be fixed. We'll wait and see. Time will show us. Now, the one good thing that I have to say about Dewsbury-Hall is that he never gets injured. But so have so many players before they came to Chelsea. And players that were injured at Chelsea that went on to leave Chelsea have all been injury-free since they left. What a surprise. N'Golo Kante is one example. It's incredible. But I wouldn't want to give up on a talent like Chukwuemeka. Now, I believe Chelsea, with a good offer, would actually sell. People have read this and gone, oh, he's not going anywhere. Who's to say? Like I've said earlier, I believe someone's getting dropped. Someone. We'll see. If Dewsbury-Hall comes in, we'll find out. Now, that's that. One name that is leaving, for sure, is this guy. Check this out. Omari Hutchinson has just completed his medical ahead of a move to Ipswich, still around £22 million with add-ons. So, that's money coming into the bank for a player that didn't play a senior minute at Chelsea Football Club. But yeah, 22. And I think Arsenal get a portion of that as well. They get, I think it's a 15% sell-on clause that they had there, so I reckon that they do get that percentage. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's 15. So Omari Hutchinson off back to Ipswich, but this time permanently. I say good luck to him. I'm looking forward to seeing what he's going to do and what he's going to do in the Premier League. So it's going to be an interesting time for Omari Hutchinson. Good luck to him. Now, another player that's been confirmed as gone, and this one is a bit of a relief, I have to say. Let's look. Hakim Ziyech has completed a permanent transfer to Galatasaray. Wishing you all the best, Hakim. And there we are. That's the latest with Hakim Ziyech. He's gone permanently. And these are one of the names that we are all expecting and we want to be gone. Because it's been how long now? Ziyech, poor Ziyech, man. But he's playing his football in Turkey. He's playing well. He's enjoying it. I'm curious to know, is there a fee? What's the fee? How much did we get? That's what I want to know about this deal. And there's other names now that we've got to try and get rid of. Kepa, Lukaku. Apparently, Lukaku, according to Fabrizio yesterday, we don't have any potential buyers. No one has expressed any interest in Lukaku. Except, we know Antonio Conte and Napoli want Lukaku. We know that. But there's still not been an approach or anything for him. No official approach. I hope we're not in a situation where we just cannot get rid of him. It wouldn't be the most impossible thing in the world, trust me. So I hope there's a club that are crazy enough that want to come in for Lukaku. Fingers crossed. Now, as we turn attentions elsewhere, let me know your thoughts down below in relation to everything Chelsea that I've just spoken about. Much appreciated. And I want to ask one question as well. And let me know in the chat below. If you had to pick, right? Because there's a lot of people telling me that Dewsbury-Hall is actually a bit more of an attacking midfielder, an attacking-minded midfielder. He's a central midfielder. He plays wherever you want, to be honest, whether it's in a double pivot or it's a little bit more central as a box-to-box, or if it's a little bit more forward as an attacking mid, he can do it. But, and that's flexible and fair play to him, would you rather Dewsbury-Hall or Chukwuemeka? Pick one. Pick one. Let me know down below. Much appreciated. And I'm going to run that same poll on Twitter and see what people are going to say. I'm interested. But let's move elsewhere. Manchester United. They're signing Ten Hag to a brand new deal, so they went and did this. Man United seriously considering Ligt from Bayern Munich. That's from David Ornstein. This is an interesting one. Because they do need a central defender. This is more from David Ornstein. Man United seriously considering move to sign Matthijs de Ligt from Bayern Munich. No club talks yet or certainty move happens, but FC Bayern centre-back increasingly viable option for United, independent of ongoing Jared Branthwaite interest, because obviously they're looking to buy him too. This is interesting. on a Dutch level, it makes sense. De Ligt, did he play under Ten Hag at Ajax? He did, didn't he? He did. I think he did. We know De Ligt came from Ajax. But if I'm not mistaken, Ten Hag was the manager at that time. I like De Ligt. He's not as blockbuster as he used to be, but he's still decent. De Ligt is still decent. There is, if I'm not mistaken, injuries with De Ligt, but his ability as a central defender is actually top class. So this would be an interesting one, and I don't know if they're going to go in for both him and Branthwaite. It's going to be a lot of money, I reckon, that way. And United, I don't feel like I'm going to have too much to spend. So I honestly believe they're going to have to pick one. We'll see who they end up with. But let me know your thoughts below. Much appreciated. It's going to be an interesting move that. They do need to reinforce defensively, United. They urgently do. So I guess they're looking in a decent direction. Let's see. More Man United. To wrap up the video, check this out. Rene Hake confirms he's set to sign for Manchester United as new assistant coach. He's leaving Go Ahead Eagles to join Man United coaching staff as well as Ruud van Nistelrooy. Exclusive story confirmed. That's Fabrizio basically confirming that it is going to be Van Nistelrooy that is coming in for sure, and going to be, I think, very, very interesting to see how this one's going to play out. Like I've mentioned before, I truly believe that if something happens to Ten Hag, Van Nistelrooy is going to be the one to take charge. Without question. Without question. So we'll see. But new staff being adopted, a change of names under Ten Hag, and is that going to make a difference? I think it makes it more Dutch. And I don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing for Man United under Ten Hag. Anyway, we'll see what happens. Let me know your thoughts down below, and I will catch all of you tomorrow for a brand new video, or maybe two. We'll see. Actually, two. It is going to be two, because you'll be getting a news video. We'll go through what's happening in club football, and you will be getting your England-Slovakia preview for the last 16 of the Euros as things begin to get serious. So let's see. I'll be here tomorrow. Much appreciated. Make sure you guys are here. Subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell to be notified. I'll catch all of you tomorrow. In a bit, people. See you then. Take care and peace.